My name is Martina Hlisnikova, and I work as EDI or Equality, Diversity, Inclusion Leader for Ikea in Czech Republic, Hungary, and Slovakia. So we are one big region. And it's the retail part of Ikea, so the Ikea stores that you hopefully all know. And the topic of today is topic of supporting refugees because it's one of our long-term priority, and unfortunately, it gained even more relevancy since the war in Ukraine started. And we all know that it seems that it will be a long-term issue. So I think you can take some inspiration from the program that we started more than 4 years ago, and from the initiatives that we are doing right now. But before I start, maybe let me shortly introduce our diversity and inclusion approach, because it wasn't presented on this forum yet. So just very shortly. Uh, we come from a place where we see equality as a human right and something that is reflected in our values. So we do believe that every person deserves equal and fair conditions and opportunities. And as we are a big company, we have this responsibility. So it's not just about our coworkers, our employees, but also about our suppliers, our customers, and further society. And when it comes to the priorities that we have in our three regions, it's several of them. I think it's very similar also for you and in other companies and institutions. So it's people with disabilities. It's of course the topic of refugees. It's LGBTQ plus inclusion. Then a big, huge topic of victims of domestic abuse, and then of course topics of gender equality and age diversity. And I believe that majority of us come from either diversity and inclusion background or HR, but maybe if not, let's see what is the impact of the diverse and inclusive company. So from external researches, we know that if people feel that they belong in the workplace, there can be up to 56% increase in job performance. And why it is like that? Well, because if you do not need to think about some stress and discrimination or stereotypes or bad jokes, you can just focus on the work, meaning that the performance and the creativity is also increased. This is valid also for the management teams, because if there's bigger diversity in these teams, there's 19% higher innovation revenue, meaning that people are coming from different backgrounds, different cultures, so they have different point of views on various issues and solutions of the problems. It also has an impact on sick days, and there's a thing called minority stress. So if your minority is experiencing discrimination in the society, then you also think about this in your daily life. And we know that stress is causing sickness. So if the stress is not there, there's a decrease in the sick days. And of course, it has a positive impact on staff turnover, because if people feel good at the workplace, they tend to not leave so often, because I think it really makes sense that all of us spend 1/3 of their days and lives in the workplace. So we all want to be 100% ourselves. We want to be safe and do not experience any stress. So that's why we see that these topics have not positive impact only on the people, but also at the business. And the topic of refugee definitely is one of the topic of diversity and inclusion. So let's look at what we did in IKEA. And actually we started in the years 2021, and it started as an international program for refugees. Even though in our region back then it was not such a big issue, but at least we have had time to prepare ourselves. But then, of course, it became more relevant. And I will be speaking about the program, but nowadays for us it's more like a business as usual. So we are still having some initiatives from the program, but it's not in the same scope. So hopefully you can take some bits from that and take it as an inspiration. So I'm starting with this image. What do you see? Do you see a stranger, danger, a threat, or you can see a friend, a neighbor, or a colleague? And this is actually a big issue in society, what we see when we look at the refugees. The reality is that nowadays there are 122 million forcibly displaced people worldwide, meaning they had to get away from their home because of persecution or conflict, violence, or human rights violation. And the opportunity here is that almost 50% of them are in the working age. So that's opportunity for all employers. And as I said already, it's not just about being a humanitarian and helping the people, which is of course very, very important, but it's also good for business. And when it comes to refugees, it helps strengthen the economy. And for this, we actually have the results that even though the countries at the beginning, they are supporting refugees, they're giving some financial help and funds, in the end, from the long-term perspective, they actually give back to the society more than they took. Then, of course, increase in diversity, meaning that they are coming from different backgrounds, different cultures, so they're having different perspectives, which can help with problem solving also inside the companies. And they are bringing talents and skills that might be missing, that also you might be missing. And what we did globally, I'm still global, on the global level, I will get to the local situation in a while. Uh, During those 3 years, we actually supported almost 3,000 refugees, and we engaged 700 businesses, because it's not just a topic of IKEA, it's actually topic of whole society, and we see that it's still relevant and it will be relevant also for the future. So that's why we also try to engage other companies, other businesses and stakeholders. And after this initial program period, we decided that we want to commit even further, and we want to increase employability of additional 3,000 refugees by the end of year 2027. And there are two most important parts for this economic inclusion, where we look at their access to the labor market, so they are having more economic opportunities. And by this they can actually grow the resilience. And the second one is social inclusion, and to be honest, this is maybe even more challenging because we want them to be able to fully participate in the communities and really have the life that they deserve, which requires solidarity and looking at the things in a different perspectives, which in nowadays in the polarized societies, it's not really an easy thing. When it comes to the barriers to work, and this is valid everywhere. So we were putting this together also with my colleagues from different IKEA markets, and it's pretty much the same everywhere. So there are a lot of administrative challenges, so problems or issues with the work permits, but also the rights and procedures. It's not so clear everywhere, and there's a big bureaucracy behind it. Also, the practical challenges. Diploma recognition is one of biggest of them, because then many people are actually overqualified for the positions that they are currently in. Language barrier, I think this is actually the biggest issue when it comes to employment, because if it's and also this is valid for us, if it's in contact with a customer, we need at least basic level of language skills, which for example, talking about our region, it's not such a big problem in Slovakia and here in Czech Republic, but in Hungary, as the language is completely different, it's a big issue. And without knowing a language, you cannot really become a part of the new society and the new culture. And there's still a lot of discrimination and a lot of bias happening in society, but not just at the society, but also it can happen at the workplace, because each person can be at the different level of understanding and of the mindset. So this is also one of the barriers that is happening and that the refugees are going through. When it comes to our goals here in Ikea, Czech Republic, Hungary, and Slovakia, we want to support refugees through these initiatives and through our Ikea stores. We want to also create positive stories and share these stories, because we believe that changing this narrative, this negative narrative that's in our societies, it's possible through sharing of personal and honest stories, because otherwise it's just some refugee crisis, some danger happening. But if you know a person, then it can change a mindset of the people and of the audience. What is also important is to support our own employees, our co-workers, because the refugee initiative is not just about the refugees, but about all of us at the workplace as well. So to secure this internal preparation is equally important. And then, as I said, we cannot be alone in this. So we are building this engagement and relationships with other stakeholders, and we are inviting others to join us. And what's important to say, we are not doing this alone. So in each country, we actually have our partners, non-profit organizations, because we believe that they are the experts and they are having the know-how, and they are showing us where we can support them. So this is very, very important in I honestly think in every initiative or every vulnerable group we work with, to have the partner and to listen actively to the partners. And with them, we created this program I mentioned several times already. So let's see how the program worked. So it consists of 3 parts. The first one is called Skills for Refugees. And in this part, of course, in cooperation with the non-profit organizations, with experts, we were creating these trainings for refugees. So how to write a CV, where to search for job, how to prepare for job interview. So to really give them the skills to navigate through the labor market, so they know their rights as well, because it's very, very important as well. Then language training, because as I mentioned, without proper language, it's very, very difficult to start somewhere. And also nowadays, people, especially people from Ukraine, they already know the basics of the language, but for them to proceed further in their careers, it's important they continue learning the language. And that they are in contact with local people, because if they are just inside their communities, then the language is still limited. So job search skills and language training was the first part. Then, of course, we were giving them employment opportunities. And here it's important to say that it was not artificially created positions. It was regular recruitment. But we were in touch with our partners, and we were creating this pool of refugees. So if there were free positions, Then we had this pool ready, and they knew about us, and they knew that okay, these people can be a good fit. So be ready for the employment, and do not create something artificially, because otherwise it's not really long-term sustainable. Then focus on leaders and co-workers, and I mentioned this as internal preparation, because you need to take in consideration that those people, they need to be ready to welcome refugees or anything that's actually new from what they are used to. So this preparation, this cultural trainings, understanding differences, or maybe even the change management, I think belongs to this one. It's very, very important. So the internal workplace is also ready for new challenges. Cooperation with non-profit organization, of course, in all parts of the program. And the last part was changing the narrative in the society, because we can be telling the stories, but how we tell the stories really, really matter to be able to change the situation. And this will, of course, take a long time, but we are doing that through the stories. And now I will try to share video. So hopefully you will be able to see it. If it won't be working, just tell me and I can send it to you afterwards. So let's hear it. During those 3 or 3.5 years, we actually saw many, many people. And we supported more than 300 refugees and asylum seekers through those different trainings. And we welcomed 110 new IKEA co-workers in those three regions combined. And let's not forget about our coworkers who were already at IKEA. So we trained and engaged also them in various trainings and preparation. And our key learnings were, the first one is patience, because the results won't be so fast. And it really needs a lot of patience to secure this preparation and to onboard everyone to be ready for this kind of a change and this kind of an approach. Internal preparation is another big learning for us, to secure that everyone also feels this psychological safety and is ready to be in touch with different cultural differences and something new which is coming. Bias as something which is very, very important to tackle, because even though the topics of diversity and inclusion are with us for a long time, still there can be some bias or microaggression. So it's important to come back to these topics as well. Language as the biggest challenge, and we see it even after those years in this program that it is still something that we need to support in order to secure proper inclusion. And then non-profit organizations plus private sector, as I said, this is the crucial learning for us, that we need to be listening to the experts and then doing what they believe is the best thing. And I said in the beginning that this was a program, which is true. And nowadays, it does not have a scope of the program anymore, because for us, it's more like business as usual. So we are still doing some of those things, but it's like a daily job. And where you can take the inspiration as well is to really tackle this internal bias or cultural trainings, and make it part of your diversity and inclusion training. So not have it as a separate thing, but really take it under other topics. Also, very important is to work with your recruitment teams. Uh, because they are very, very important in this process. They are the first people who are in touch with refugees. So you need to be sure that you are seeing a person, not a CV, and that you actually normalize and acknowledge the career break in the CVs of the refugees, because it's very common and it's normal. So this is also important in this mindset change. Also, individual approach. So adapting and being prepared for maybe different cultures. So go through different communication styles, how to have a proper handshake with someone from different cultures. So secure this readiness for them. What we are doing is we are still having this talent pool, and we are having regular open days at Ikea for potential candidates from the refugees. So they come to visit us, and they see what are our values, how the work look like. So both sides agree if it can be a good fit. Sharing stories, it works well inside and outside of company as well, to help change the narrative in society, and also help with the change of mindset of many people. And also regular communication internally. So we celebrate the World Refugee Day, which is in June, with different foods from all over the world. So people can get in touch with different cultures, and it really helps break this bias and stereotypes. So the question now is, what do you see? Because we in IKEA, we see an opportunity to bring significant value into the workplace and also in the society. So thank you.